Throughout the history of old school RuneScape and its many mini-games, there's been one burning question that has been asked for years. Why fletch? This is a quick guide to why you should fletch at Guardians of the Rift. Before we go on, this guide mainly applies to ironmen. It's been about a year since Group Iron Man came out, and a lot of people have gotten to the point where they need to fletch a ton of broad arrows. For me, I need to fletch around 200k to complete the Desert Elite Diary. I found out that you can fletch around 20,000 an hour while doing Guardians of the Rift, and I didn't see this method anywhere else on YouTube, so I decided to make my own video. For gear requirements, you're going to want the best strip on your account. I've got my powdered wig, my odium ward, and my shoulder parrot. Bring Varrock armor and any of the outfit pieces if you have them, it doesn't really matter that much. Bring a pickaxe, and I would recommend a chisel and runes for NPC contact. The method is really simple. When a round ends, you get a really big drop of around 3 to 4k EXP, but you only get the drop if you earn at least one elemental or catalytic point. So you're going to be fletching the entire game and not mining any of the Guardian fragments, and then you're going to take the first portal and craft one inventory of runes so you get your first point, and then you just simply fletch the entire rest of the round. If you value reward points and runecrafting EXP, you can take every portal in the game instead, which is what I prefer doing. You're going to want to do this method on the mass world. I have Entity Hider turned on, so you're not going to see the other players in this video. At the start, I run back and forth to reinforce the starting barriers and create a couple weak Guardians. The only time you ever lose a game in these mass worlds is when a barrier breaks early on, and so the one reason that I love this method is because it actually helps prevent that from happening, and you're helping all the other like 90 plus people playing the game instead of just leeching the whole time, which is what you're doing if you're doing like the AFK mining method or something. You're just not helping whatsoever. So I really love this method for that reason. Some games I craft Guardians to help us survive, but on this world I noticed that people were tending to craft like 9 to 10 weak Guardians early on, so I didn't bother. If you notice that there's like less than 4 or 5 before the first altars activate, it's not a bad idea to craft a couple. It'll prevent you from losing as often. There are still games that you will lose. It's very rare, but it does still happen, so keep that in mind. Once a portal spawns, take it and craft a full inventory of essence. Since you're fletching, you don't have to craft runes right away, so you can actually wait and just fletch while waiting for an overcharge altar to spawn. I could take this fire altar right here, but I'm trying to stockpile catalytic points right now, so I'm going to wait for a blood or a death altar to spawn instead. And crafting those runes gives more XP compared to fire runes as well. Once you have an overcharged cell, you're going to want to send next to this essence pile and just fletch. The counter at the top left shows how many Guardians are in the game. When there's no longer a 10 out of 10, create a new one, and you'll typically be the first one to do it because the people that are making essence are a tile away from the actual pile, so you'll usually beat them if you're quick about clicking. Only do this if you have an overcharged cell. Sometimes you get unlucky and you can't manage to get an overcharged altar before the next portal spawns, so you'll want to be charging the barrier instead if you can't get a red cell, because those are the strongest Guardians. Here I notice that the next portal is going to spawn soon, so I give up on trying to wait for a Guardian to die and I recharge a barrier instead. Overall with this method, I can fletch around 23,000 broad arrows an hour, and I get around 35,000 runecrafting XP per hour at level 78. And this XP scales with your level, so it's going to go up, and it also scales with the number of pouches you have unlocked. I typically get 4 to 5 points per game. With this particular round, I was very unlucky, and I only got 3. I couldn't craft any Guardians, and I got very bad RNG at the end with the points that I was rewarded. If you only take 1 portal per round, you can probably expect around 25k XP per hour, and probably closer to 30,000 broad arrows per hour. These are my XP rates, and that's going to do it for the guide. Thanks for watching.